What's going on, Rovers? It's Mr. Shalat back with another video. Today, we're going to be going over the calendar setup in InDesign. Okay, so I'm going to be going step by step, showing you what to click on for anybody that wasn't here for the lesson and get everything set up for our main calendar design so we can start working on our layouts, which will ultimately be 12 months plus the extra to create that calendar. All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to share out the screen. First document that I want to take a look at here is we're going to look at the settings screen here in InDesign. All right, so we're going to go with a new document. When you go to new document at the top of your screen, you want to make sure you click on print. That will reset everything back to the factory defaults. So we're going to click on print, and then we're going to come over here. We're going to give this a name. Okay, so we're going to call this calendar. Okay, make sure you're spelling calendar AR on the end. Okay, calendar has an AR on the end. Your document, when you're setting this up, you want to go over here and make sure you choose landscape as the mode. Okay, and then your margins down here at the bottom. We do want 1/4 inch margins all the way around, but then we're going to break the chain in our top margin. All right, we're going to change that up. And for that one, we want to make that 1.5. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click create. And I will share out my screen so we can see the actual layout. Here we go. Here we are in InDesign. All right, let's go ahead and start creating. All right, so as we're setting things up here, we're going to go ahead and draw our first box. When you draw that first box, you want to make sure that you have a black line that is surrounding it. The black line that surrounds it should be 1 point. So when you're doing your layout, make sure that when you draw the box, that box is a black line that goes around the outside, and then the fill of it should be paper. Okay, so your colors, looking over here at our toolbox, okay, paper as our main color, and then the stroke color should be black. The size of the box has to be a very specific number. Okay, the width is going to be 1.5, and the height is going to be 1.25. Okay, so 1.25 on the height. All right, just go over that again, 1.5 by 1.25 on the height. You're going to take that box, you're going to put it over here on the left-hand side of the document. Then what we're going to do is we're going to repeat that box. So we want 7 days a week. We want this to go across the screen. We only have to draw one box. We don't have to draw all 7. Okay, so what we'll do is with that box selected, you'll go up to the edit menu and you'll choose step and repeat. All right, now the numbers that you're going to type in here for step and repeat, okay, the repeat count is going to be 6. Okay, but down here at the bottom, I'm just going to set these numbers to 0 so they're at the default when we're getting started here. All right, so the repeat count is going to be 6. We have 7 days a week, but we want to subtract 1 because we've already have 1 already drawn. So we're going to repeat that box 7 times across the page. Okay, the vertical is going to be 0, and the horizontal number is going to be the width of our box. So that box, okay, that we drew is 1.5 inches wide. So if we look over here at the width, okay, the width of our box is 1.5. That's the number we need. That's why we're typing that in here. Okay, so 1.5, 6, 0, 1.5. I'll hit OK, and they go all the way across the page. Then we're going to press and drag and highlight all of those boxes. And now we're going to go up and down, which would be our vertical. So we go edit, step, and repeat. Box pops up. Again, I'm just going to enter some zeros for now so we can talk about the numbers that we need. All right, so we're going to end up with 5 rows of these going down. Right now we have 7 columns across the page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for each day of the week. All right, but ultimately we need 5 more rows of those going down. So if I need 5 rows and I already have 1, my repeat count is going to be 4. It's 1 less than what we actually need. My vertical number is the height of our box. If you don't remember that, we look top right-hand corner here, okay, and it says the height of our box was 1.25. All right, so we'll go ahead and hit OK. Now we've got our 35 boxes. Okay, we only drew 1. We step and repeated the rest. At this point, you want to highlight everything you have. Okay, so it's one big group. And then we're going to group it together. So if you go up to the object menu and choose group, or you right click on it and choose group, now all of those boxes are one shape. and you're going to put that shape in the lower left-hand corner. So it should be down there touching that bottom margin. Okay, so that's good to go. That is good to go. All right, so next, what we're going to do is we need our days of the week that are going to come across the top here. All right, so what'll happen is you're going to draw yourself a box. The box that you draw should be black. Okay, so we want to make sure the fill of the box that we drew is black. The size of our box, the width is going to be 1.5. And the height of our box, okay, is going to be 0.5. Okay, so just to go over that again, the width of our box is 1.5. It's the same width as these boxes down here, 1.5. And then the height of our box is 0.5. Okay, so at that point, I'm now ready to draw a text box. I'm going to get my type tool and I'm going to press and drag a text box the same width of this box that I just drew. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to press and drag. Okay. And after you drag, you're going to type the word D-A-Y. Okay. The word day. You want to make that, I'm going to make this 18 point. Okay. You might make it a little bit bigger, or a little bit smaller, depending on the font that you select. Okay, so you're going to type the word day. I want you to center it, do an align center, and the color of your text should be paper. So you're going to make that text white. What I mean by that is when I drag this text box over top, okay, and your text box should be the same width as the black box that you originally created, okay, that word day should be centered. So I can adjust my text box and then I can move this up or down. Okay, you want day to be in the middle of your box, and it should be the same width as the black box that you made. Okay, so make sure you have them the same exact width. I have an 18-point font. You can pick whatever font you want. Okay, and 18 is the guide. So maybe you need 17 or 16, or maybe you need, okay, a little bit higher. Maybe you need that 19 or 20. So depending on the font, I'm going to highlight my text. I could come in here. You can pick any font you want. Don't pick the default. Go through, find the font that you really like best. Okay, so I'll go through here and let's just say I'm going to use the word impact. Okay, I'll use our font impact. You could pick whatever font you like best. Okay, now at this point, you're going to take this text box and you're going to put this, okay, right above the first day a week. Okay, so you're going to slide that into place. It should fit in that gap that we have. Okay, so it's all the way to the left and it's in that gap. I'm going to highlight both of those items. I'm going to go back to step and repeat. And now what we'll do, all right, and we'll reset these numbers back to 0 so we can talk about the numbers that we need. We have 7 days a week, so we're going to type 6. The width of our box, okay, we remember is 1.5, okay, and that runs, oops, vertical is 0, width is 1.5, okay, and you'll see that the days of the week are now running across the page. That's exactly what we want. All right, at that point, I would hit OK, and then I could come in and I could type the days of the week. So obviously the first day of the week is Sunday. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, so on and so forth, all the way across. Okay, now once you have all your days of the week and they're running across, okay, we don't necessarily need all those blue lines. We can turn those off. Remember, if you go to View, Extras, and Hide Frame Edges, that turns off all the blue lines. But ultimately, you should have your days of the week that run all the way across. Okay, you'll have the names of each of the days of the week. Now, we're ready to add some numbers, okay? So to add a number to the calendar, you have to determine whether you're going to put that text box on the left or to the right, or the bottom or the top. Where ultimately do you want that number to appear? So if I come over here and I draw a text box, I'm going to go ahead and type the number 00. So I'm going to go ahead and type 00. I'm going to bump up my font to a higher number. Okay, you do not have to use the numbers and the fonts that I'm selecting. That's going to be your personalization ultimately on what you are selecting. So here is my text. All right. If I am going to put my text in the top left of my calendar, okay, then I need my alignment, okay, down here under paragraph, I need my alignment to be to the left. If I am going to put my text box over here on the right-hand side, then I need to highlight my text and choose Align to the right. So now my text box is on the right-hand side. So depending on where you're going to put your text, it could be up there, it could be down here, it could be over here, it could be up top left. You choose, it's your choice, okay? But ultimately you have to make that decision, all right? So with my number, let's say I'm gonna put it in the top right-hand corner, okay? So I'll put that up here. My text box does not need to be as big as I have it. I can size that down a little bit, all right? Now, we need our numbers for every day of the month, okay? So what'll happen is you're gonna take that text box that we have here and we're gonna go edit, step and repeat. And when I choose step and repeat, you can see that it's putting that text box in the same exact spot all the way across the row. That's what we want, okay? So what you need to determine is where do you want that text box to land? And you got to get it perfect in the very first box, because when we step and repeat it, it's going to be that way in every box, all right? So I'm happy with where it's at. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. All right, actually, I'm not happy with where it's at. Ultimately, and I'll zoom in here so we can talk about it, all right? You wanna leave the same amount of space above your letter as you do on the right-hand side of your letter in this scenario. So if I click on that text box, I can move this over or move this down. You wanna try and leave the same amount of space. Now, you're not gonna measure it, you're just looking at it, okay? But ultimately, you wanna make sure that that is perfectly centered where you want it to be. Okay, in this case, I am putting it in the top right. You can put it in any of the four corners. Whichever side you choose, you got to make sure you set your alignment like I did down here under paragraph. You got to make sure your alignment is set. All right, so now I'll go to edit, step and repeat. That takes our numbers and they go all the way across, which is exactly what we want. We hit OK. Now we have to highlight each of our text boxes. So I click on the first one and then I hold the shift key and I'm going to go ahead and click on each and every single text box. All right, as we come across, I now have them all highlighted. I held shift. I clicked on the first one, I held shift, and I clicked on the other 6. Once you have that, you're going to go to edit, step, and repeat. We're now going to change our numbers up. Okay, so the numbers that we're going to use. All right, we're going up and down now. So our vertical, if you remember, is 1.25. Okay. The repeat count, we have 4 more rows and the vertical is 1.25. All right. Hopefully you got those numbers. If you didn't, you can pause and rewind. We hit OK. And there is all of our text boxes. All right. Now, if you're looking at the very first month, and let's say that that starts on a Tuesday, all you have to do now is you would come over and you would double click on this and I would type 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. And it's going to put the text exactly where you need it in every single text box. All right. But before we do that, we're going to, across the top here, we're going to type the word month. So we're going to draw one really long text box across the top. I'm going to go ahead and type the word month, and then we'll say 2022 or 2023, whatever particular month you're currently working on. We'll highlight our text. We'll go ahead and make that nice and big. Okay, you can pick whatever font. Okay, go through, find a font that really stands out to you. All right, and we will do an align center with that. So ultimately what we want to do is we want to have our text sitting on top of our calendar grid like that. We want to leave space at the top because that's where we're going to punch and hold everything together. Now we're at the point where the first month is perfect. Okay, we have everything the way we want. Obviously I didn't type the days of the week just for time purposes, but now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this as many times as we need it. So if I come over here to pages at the top, if I click on pages, you'll notice I currently have one page. If I right click on that page and I choose duplicate spread, it will copy it and it'll make an extra copy. And I'm just going to keep duplicating the spread. Now, unfortunately, it's putting these pages side by side. We need to turn that off. So if you go to File and Document Setup, File Document Setup, you want to uncheck the box that says Facing Pages. So at the top of Document Setup, it says Facing Pages. You want to turn that off. So now all of my pages are right in a row. As I scroll down here, you notice they're all right in a row. All right. So then I just have to keep duplicating the page as many months as we need it. So if I have a 12-month calendar, I would have 12 months, okay, or so on and so forth. Okay, the calendar that you're making will have a little bit more than just the 12 months. Okay, so we're going to duplicate that out all the way down. And then, when you're finished, you come up to page 1, you highlight it, okay? And then you can type, all right, instead of the word instead of the word month, I could type January, and then we're good to go. All right. And that's the basic setup for your calendar. Okay. You want to duplicate everything out, start adding the days, and then add your pictures. All right. If you have questions on any of this stuff, you let me know, and we'll talk soon. Take care.